Bonsoir à tous, bienvenue sur le live où on va reprendre notre petite mission sur Ace Combat 0. On s'était arrêté cet après-midi à 13h parce qu'il fallait que j'aille forcément travailler. Et du coup on reprend là dans les médias. Bonsoir Redim, bienvenue, installe-toi. Donc du coup comme je disais on va reprendre notre petite session Ace Combat. On va aller faire des dogfights et pas des combats de chiens, bien sûr. On fait la traduction dans le littéral. Hop, live, nickel, PlayStation. Ah, ça fait remonter les souvenirs, tout ça. Alors, du coup, non, on n'oublie pas, hop, les petites commandes. Bonjour. Merci. Je vais m'installer tranquille, t'inquiète. Non, on n'oublie pas le Discord, si vous voulez me rejoindre. La musique, effectivement, il y avait la musique Vexento pour ceux qui connaissent pas. N'oublions pas le Prime, toujours le Prime. Et aussi, si tu cherches les commandes, tu tapes point d'exclamation commande. Voilà, tout simplement. Et sur ce, bah installez-vous, mettez-vous bien, mettez-vous même très à l'aise, comme vous pouvez le constater avec moi. Une petite bière bien française. Hop. Et en plus, je vous épargne le fait qu'il y ait la souris dans les parages. Hop, on va mettre le son à fond. Pas trop quand même, on va éviter de réveiller tout l'immeuble.
My pulse raced at the astounding accomplishments of the mercenary known as Demon Lord. I forgot about my job and read everything I had on hand. Around the time Demon Lord received his nickname, South Belka showed signs of weariness regarding the war. Because the region was set up as a defense line to protect the birthplace of Belka in the north, the people's dissatisfaction had reached a climax. The cities declared themselves demilitarized and peacefully surrendered to the Allied forces. Unable to establish a defensive position, the Belkan army kept retreating to the north. The end of the war was fast approaching. I was given an opportunity to interview the former aces of the Belkan Air Force. Back then, they were the masters of the sky, and they had also known him. So I crossed the border to follow his trail. I wanted to capture the war and the Demon Lord from their point of view, to capture the voices of those who were there. Bernard Schmidt, a man with the eyes of an owl. Groom Team Commander, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 10th Air Division, 8th Tactical Fighter Squadron. Fighting with distinguished service on the battlefield, he earned the title of Ace with his uncanny ability to adapt quickly to the flow of battle.
I had a bad feeling while I was flying towards the round table. Why were they having problems down in 2 mercenaries? I figured it was just temporary chaos and it'd be over by the time I got there. Pilots of the Belkan Air Force are true professionals, but when I saw the situation, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought maybe my IFF was malfunctioning. There were still 2 enemies on the radar. Everyone else in my squadron had the same reaction. This is really happening. Every now and then, guys like that appear on a battlefield. Someone special, you know? I squinted my eyes and confirmed the situation. Checked the terrain, air currents, his plane, his maneuvers, and his remaining ammo. I figured I could do it. I knew what I was getting into, but he still outmaneuvered me beyond my expectation.
Gelb Team is number 2, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 5th Air Division, 23rd Tactical Fighter Squadron. Rainer Altman. He flew the skies of Directus during the capital's liberation, and he's still there to this day.
I met him above this very sky. I can still hear the sound of the missile alerts from that day. I received an order to fly to Directus on my way back from an intercept mission on the southern defense line. The order itself wasn't unusual. We kept being deployed from one mission to the next without receiving even the basic maintenance. But the situation was the same all around. We were late reaching the operational space. The station squadrons had already retreated, and warning bells were going off in the city. And the people were looking up to his plane, high above the sky. I couldn't see any emotion in his maneuvers. I didn't feel like I was fighting against a human being. I wanted to end that battle as quickly as possible.
Silber Team Commander, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 51st Air Division, 126th Tactical Fighter Squadron. Dietrich Kellerman. He was once the top ace at Belka and a fiery instructor at the Air Force Academy. In 1995, the Belkan Air Force sent him to the front lines to bolster troop morale.
He was good. From what I'd heard about him, I thought he was still just a young mercenary. But he matured since then. He still wasn't perfect, but I could see he had come a long way towards understanding the rules of combat. What's important on the battlefield is to let go of hate, to survive, and to adhere to the rules you've set for yourself. These are the rules I've taught my students. And when I saw him, I could tell my time was done. A new generation had inherited the sky. There was no more need for an old soldier like me.
Every time I flew with him, his skill stood out. He was unstoppable. He was cool-headed and proud. A combat professional. Demon Lord fit him perfectly. Maybe the man was blessed by the goddess of war. Before long, everyone had taken notice of him. More and more would show up to watch him go off on sortie. Mercenaries or maintenance crew, it didn't matter. People wanted to burn his image to their memories. Hell, they weren't the only ones.
Bon, après, comme on dit, après un blabla interminable, faut bien revenir à la triste réalité qu'il faut
The
faire
Belkan
les
forces are beginning to
combats.
take flight.
Oui, j'ai un chat.
The industrial city of Hoffman is crucial to the enemy's industrial strategy and the heart of its war productions. The Allied forces have decided that all Belkan war production must be stopped to expedite the end of the war, and has requested our participation in this operation. The operation will primarily involve the bombing of ground facilities by the Allied forces' bombers. Your mission is to support those bombers and attack enemy facilities. We have achieved near total air supremacy over the target area, but don't let your guard down. There may still be sporadic resistance.
Donc, on attaque les ennemis, encore une fois. On va voir. D'après ce que je comprends, de ce que j'ai compris, ça a l'air d'être dans un... Je prépare le micro... Hop, dans un canyon. Alors, dans le hangar, qu'est-ce qu'on va prendre dans le hangar? Alors oui, ça c'est un micro. Ne regarde pas comme ça, c'est pas un jeu. C'est ça que tu veux? D'accord, j'ai compris. Bah ça non plus, t'y touches pas. Eh, pas encore, hein, le Sukhoi 37. À moins que, par inadvertance, un F-18 Hornet soit vendu à la place. Peut-être pas, je sais pas. Bref, donc du coup, j'ai la possibilité d'acheter le Sukhoi 37. Enfin. Alors, le napalm, c'est bon, c'est chaud, ça colle à la peau, ou le FAEB. Allez, je prends ça. Ah non, en fait, j'ai pas de crédit. Bon, bah, ça sera du napalm. Ah, mais le napalm, en termes de dispersion, c'est chaud. C'est pas grave, on verra ça une autre fois. On lance la mission. Hop, on chope le Sukhoi. Hop, en couleur spéciale, bien sûr. C'est beau. Bon, moi, j'ai du XLRA. C'est déjà pas mal. Et toi, du coup, tu vas partir avec des bombes. Oh, wesh. Oh, c'est Madame la chatte. Hein. Ah, mais si on est con, nickel, ça.
Cover the Allied bombers. Eliminate all ground and aerial threats. Let's move. To all bombers, remove Belka's ability to counterattack. Priority is placed on destruction over accuracy. Radar lock. SAM destroyed. Initiate bombing sequence. Drop them all. Turret to ashes. That's not enough. Drop more bombs. I thought they were on a precision bombing mission. They're just tossing bombs all over the place. Do they plan to destroy our entire city? Locked on. This is PJ. Something strange is going on down there. The number of burning areas just suddenly increased. All units. This is an order from Operation HQ. Abandon Hoffnung. Attention Allied fighters. Our tank unit's advancing to Sector 2. Some Falcon planes are giving us trouble. Take down those planes for us. A Tomahawk just hit the city. Are those guys serious? Burn down the entire city. Set fire to the buildings on your way out.
Ça, on est pété par les autres.
Mercenaries. Well, we appreciate the help. We'll be moving on. Get out of Hoffnung. We don't have anything more to do here. I need to use the power shout. I'm going down.
C'est du SAM et du SAM et du SAM.
Hoffnung has fallen to the Allied forces.
De l'ennemi, encore une fois.
So this is the price we pay for losing.
Ok, touché. Pas mal. Allez, un autre missile histoire de le calmer. Hop, hop. Allez, on enchaîne. Hop. Ici. Un avion. Ça doit être un avion spé.
Roll to the left and drop the payload.
Oh, comment ils ont écrit Pélican avec un K, ça.
Come on. Make some space on the truck bed. How are we supposed to do that? We're carrying a wounded soldier. They've got bombers up now. Fire. Fire away. Release all bombs before you get shot
Les
down.
missiles, ils ont même pas touché leur cible. Non, sans deck. Ça, c'est une limite, je suis pas sûr.
This can't go on any longer. I have to stop these bombings.
Ah si, on est touché. Pour une limite 31, c'est qu'il est très lourd
Flames are spreading.
en termes de manœuvre de côté.
Burn to the ground.
Un peu maintenant. On est sur le jeu.
The city's going up in flames! We're to accept it, kid. This is war. You expect me to believe that arson and indiscriminate bombing is war? There's no mercy in war. It's a collision of powers. Even war has a set of rules to follow.
Shit.
I've detected an unknown craft on radar. The blip is barely visible. It may be a stone.
35. Déjà.
Burn them to the ground.
Bitch. Now. Hop là.
I won't let them get back alive.
Ok, c'est bon, je revois clair.
Damn it! Who could have shot me down? Go, team! Engage! Mayday! 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 I'm being targeted. I can't shake him. This is Bomb Unit 3. I'm taking enemy fire. What happened to our escort plane? Guilty for what they've done to Felka.
Putain, des B2. Ah, c'est plus courant ça, des B2.
Don't hold back. We'll destroy all. Down all Belkin fighters. Ignore the civilians. Our priority is withdrawing the troops out of the area. Abandon Block D. Join up with this company from Block C. Don't leave anything behind for the Allied forces. Mission objective fulfilled. All units, return to base. Damn them all.
Nobody knew why they were fighting anymore. All I felt at that point was sadness for the world. That's why I...
Pursued by Allied forces, the Belkin forces have taken flight, abandoning Hoffner. Without military production capabilities, Belka is in a bind. We were also able to confiscate samples of what seemed to be experimental weapons from the abandoned war factories, before Belka had time to use them. There are still pockets of resistance holed up in the industrial city of Sudentor. Although fleeing, the Belkan army continues to fight back and are using the Valdreich Mountains as a final line of defense in an attempt to prevent our army from reaching northern Belka. For this mission, we would like you to assist the Allied ground troops by clearing the skies of enemy fighters. The South Belka munitions factory is located in Sudentor, which means the remaining troops, although few in number, are well outfitted. Head to the designated operations rendezvous location, point 203.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on peut bien avoir dans cette jolie petite mission? Alors, par contre, ce que je vais faire, c'est que je me suis aperçu que les sous-titres passaient un petit peu de temps en temps là-dessous, derrière ma cam. Du coup, j'ai préféré modifier un petit peu tout ça. Voilà. Et on va voir ce que ça donne. Ok. Allez. Mieux comme ça. Par contre, j'ai pas vu beaucoup d'ennemis, par contre, c'est inquiétant.
DJ, don't even think about talking to your girl over the radio.
I wouldn't do that during a job.
Ground team, do you read me? Head for Valdreich to take out any remnant forces the Belkans could have positioned out there. Golem 2, what's the problem? You're behind.
Don't worry, I'll catch up. This is PJ from Crew Team. Golem 2, is there a problem with your craft? I'm just sad.
Emergency transmission from Allied HQ. The Belkan bomber squadron equipped with nuclear weapons has taken off for Ustio.
What?
Enemy bombers are approaching this airspace. Golem team, Crow team, head to intercept.
Crew 1, roger. Crew 2, moving to engage enemy. I'll stop him.
This war would end if they blew everything up.
We can't let them use those nukes.
Do whatever it takes to stop them. Prepare to engage enemy. 5 miles remaining. 4 miles remaining.
I see them. Enemy fighters with nukes.
This is Eagle Eye to Golem 1. Don't hold back this time. Shoot them all. Two planes. No, 3 planes are down. But this has no bearing on our plans. We must carry out our duty.
Crew 3 to AWACS. There are too many enemy crafts. Please identify the craft with the nuclear weapon.
We'll have to shoot all of them down. To all units in this airspace, stop the nuclear attack. Shoot down all Belkan bombers.
How many planes are left?
If we even miss one of those bombers, we lose.
What?
Enemy down.
Ah, il venait de loin ce missile.
DJ, don't even think about talking to your girl over the radio.
I wouldn't do that during a job.
bomber squadron equipped with nuclear weapons has taken off for Ustio.
What?
Enemy bombers are approaching this airspace. Golem team, Grub team, head to intercept.
Crow 1, roger. Crow 2, moving to engage enemy. I'll stop them. This war would end if they blew everything up. We can't let them use those nukes.
Do whatever it takes to stop them. Prepare to engage enemy. 5 miles remaining. 4 miles remaining.
I see them. Enemy fighters with nukes.
This is Eagle Eye to Golem 1. Don't hold back this time. Shoot them all.
Code 3 to AWACS. There are too many enemy crafts. Please identify the craft with the nuclear weapon.
You'll have to shoot all of them down. To all units in this airspace, stop the nuclear attack. Shoot down all Belkin bombers.
I won't let them do this. Stay calm. Get ready. All planes confirmed down. We did it. There's no impossible jobs for us mercenaries. Freedom and weep, Falcons. What the?
Je crois qu'ils viennent d'utiliser une bombe nucléaire sur nous. Enfin, à côté.
is where we go our separate ways.
Sacré
We were
bordel,
unable
on
to
va pas se le
confirm if
cacher.
the enemy squadron you engaged was equipped with nuclear weapons. We don't know all the details yet, but multiple nuclear detonations have been verified within the Belkan border. It is also unclear whether or not Galm 2, who disappeared during the mission, is still alive. We will continue our search efforts, but at this point there's not much hope. Our communications network is still down due to the nuclear explosions. Remain on standby until conditions improve.
Le F-15E et le Sukhoi 32 disponibles. M'en fous, j'ai le Sukhoi 37. J'essaye d'établir un dialogue avec un
June
chat, mais
6th.
ça n'a pas l'air de fonctionner.
1995. I was still in school at the time, but I'll never forget the images I saw on the news that day. The Belkans set off 7 nuclear explosions on their own soil. Maybe their old militaristic leaders couldn't stand the idea of Allied forces invading their land, and declared to the world that the land to the north was the Holy Land of Belka. According to official records, more than 12,000 people died. It was a grand self-sacrifice that engulfed all. The only thing remaining was the desolate landscape. How did the people of Belka feel about what they saw? And what did he think of it when he looked down on it from the sky?
Ouais.
We have discovered remaining enemy troops gathered in the Yering mine area in northwest Belka. Numerous divisions of the Belkan army refuse to accept the change in government and are disobeying the command to disband. Your mission is to clear out the remaining Belkan troops, and if the reports are accurate, there are still plenty of them. The Higher Lark base, located in Osean territory, has been arranged for your refueling. If your tank is low, go there and they'll help you out. To compensate for the losses in Galm Team, Crow Team will be joining you. We're counting on your best performance yet.
Sacré bordel tout ça là. Ouais. On sait pas sur qui on va tirer encore. Ouais, launch mission. On passe d'un mec qui avait un F-15 à un mec qui a un pauvre F-16. Eh ben.
You are cleared for takeoff. Altitude restrictions canceled. Return to your mission. Good luck.
Bloc aussi.
Galm 1, this is PJ. I will now join you as Galm 2. I'll be flying under your command now. Give me orders at any time. It's an honor to fly as Galm's number 2. And by the way, PJ stands for Patrick James. And I like to play polo. You know, the game with the horses. Maybe we should get going now.
On s'en bat les steaks.
A return line is located on
recycler 2 Ace Combat. 5, c'est bien, vous suivez. Parce qu'au final, cette map elle se joue. Si je dis pas de bêtises, elle se joue au moins. Je crois que dans toute la saga des Ace Combat, elle se joue 3 fois. 2 fois dans Ace Combat 5 et 1 fois ici. Ah ouais, c'est 3.
That is one huge facility. What's that huge hangar for? Damn, counterattacks are difficult. We've destroyed the hangar. That's already been moved. No problem. I should be able to fly like Column 1 without any unnecessary maneuvers. Target destroyed. Our tests will guarantee that the operation is carried out successfully. The transport planes are preparing to leave the area. What's going on here? Radar lock. Is all level loaded up on the ship? Missile launched. Did you release the warnings on the transport ship? All we do is carry stuff on withdrawal. At times like this, we need to keep busy, Johan. Gone 1, missile launched. The enemy threat level is down. Continue to engage.
Un avion furtif là qui apparaît, qui disparaît, je pense que ça doit être l'avion peu soumis.
Enemy armored vehicle destroyed.
Avec DS. Allez, on va faire un petit tour. 1, 2. Non, c'est bon.
There's two of them. The team moving with towards your platoon.
Juste pour essayer de choper. Voilà. Et Y.
Locked on.
Voilà le feu. On va faire un petit peu.
Warning, the enemy's tracking you on radar. Missile launched. Missile off target. Golem 1, missile evaded. Warning, the enemy's locked onto you. Approaching gun range. Golem 1, Fox 2. Warning, the enemy's tracking you on radar. Bandits in gun range.
L'autre avion furtif. Intéressant. J'arrive. Toujours intéressant les avions furtifs. On ne sait jamais sur quoi.
Delta still has an organized platoon.
Date.
Locked on.
Oh,
No
je
special
suis
weapons
threat level has dropped off even more.
Bon, je pense qu'on va faire le ménage là-dedans et puis ça sera fini.
Radar lock. Don't panic. Just keep working. Golem 1, Box 2. The one thing I wanted to hear. If only we could have shot him down. We'll be the last platoon to withdraw. Moving over there. Does the team board seem 100% replace us? You don't have to chase them too far. Don't forget what we're trying to accomplish. Missile launched. Warning, the enemy's locked onto you. Locked on. This war should be over already. Why would they do this after all that's happened? Missile off target. Box 2. Golem 2, Fox 2.
Bon,
All
nickel.
attack targets have been destroyed. Golem team, not bad for a couple of rookies.
Je suis pas un bleu, oh. Eh.
Whew. All right.
Comme ça.
The mission to clear out remaining Belkan resistance was a success. As to the intended purpose for using the giant hangar described in the report, rest assured that intelligence is looking into the matter. We've received a report that remaining Belkan troops are converging on Belka's northeast coast of Anfang. The enemy is deploying land, sea, and airstrike teams. These troops refuse to accept the Belkan interim government's official capitulation and are adamantly resisting. In light of the current political situation, this mission will be a top-secret operation carried out entirely by mercenaries. The mission will be called Operation Bloom, and will be divided into 3 separate areas. The Mars Strike Team will attack enemy naval vessels and surface troops along the coast. The Mercury Strike Team will engage land units and enemy fighters that are using a tunnel as a makeshift airbase. The Jupiter Strike Team will be responsible for maintaining air superiority after the Mars and Mercury teams have completed their missions. This operation will begin at 1600, when the capitulation ceremony takes place in Lumen. Mars team will strike first, followed by Mercury and then Jupiter. Choose carefully which team you wish to join. That is all.
Bon, bah, on va prendre Mercury. C'est bien Mercury. Impeccable. Tout ce qu'il me faut. Du skill, et encore plus de skill. Voilà, que demander de mieux. Par contre, les armes spé. Le problème des armes spé sur cet avion, c'est pas folichon quoi. Ah ouais, mais le 32, ouais, c'est très air-sol, mais c'est pas air-air. Après, il y a le F-15E, mais le F-15E, c'est très terrestre et peu aérien. Après, X-29, mais bon, ça c'est expérimental, c'est pas forcément top. Après, j'ai le F-15C qui est censé être l'avion du jeu. Et à la limite, si on veut coller vraiment à l'histoire, faudrait que je prenne cet avion-là. Allez. Histoire de faire comme tout le monde. Prendre les QAM. Toi tu vas prendre les LAGM. Allez, c'est parti.
Comm team, take out Belka's remnant forces assembled at the coastline. Comm 1, engage.
We're broadcasting live from the signing ceremony here in Lumen. Senior officials from each nation have come here in hopes of a peaceful solution.
They came out of the tunnel. Some bandits are flying through the tunnel. Stay alert. They'll be out at any second. I'm gonna put an end to this war. You want it? You ready to deliver it? First aid kit preparations complete.
The plaza is surrounded by numerous Allied tanks, and the atmosphere is stern. Today's signatures will ratify an agreement which calls for the disarmament of Belka.
This battle should put an end to the war.
Belka's military forces will bend, and tension with neighboring countries will come to an end. The agreement will be covered in detail at a later broadcast.
Make them cancel a ceasefire radio announcement. How much easy behind this battle?
The ceasefire was agreed upon due in large part to the 7 nuclear attacks. According to our sources, the agreement also touches on the possession of nuclear armaments. Nevertheless, the great war that enveloped the eastern countries and cost the lives of so many has finally come to an end.
It seems the hostile mercenaries have come here. The Demon Lord. The man who wiped out my squadron. We must avenge our comrades. The nukes must have left Belka in despair. Why are they still fighting? Our battle starts right now.
Putain de Albatros.
We can still fight. Prepare yourself. Why won't they stop attacking? How many of our planes are up there? All of them. We haven't lost yet.
Ah, shit.
Enemy down.
Le missile. Ennemi est passé. Je m'attendais pas à le voir aussi.
Comm team, take out Belka's remnant forces assembled at the coastline. Comm 1, engage.
We're broadcasting live from the signing ceremony here in Lumen. Senior officials from each nation have come here in hopes of a peaceful solution.
They came out of the tunnel. Some bandits are flying through the tunnel. Stay alert. They'll be out at any second. I'm gonna put an end to this war. You want it? We're ready to deliver it. First aid kit preparations complete.
The plaza is surrounded by numerous Allied tanks, and the atmosphere is stern.
Allies' military forces will be reduced, and tension with neighboring countries will come to an end. The agreement will be covered in detail at a later broadcast. Make them cancel the ceasefire radio announcement.
How would Dixie find this battle?
The ceasefire was agreed upon due in large part to the 7 nuclear attacks. According to our sources, the agreement also touches on the possession of nuclear armaments. Nevertheless, the great war that enveloped the eastern countries and cost the lives of so many has finally come to an end.
It seems the Osteo mercenaries have come here. The Demon Lord. The man who wiped out my squadron. We must avenge our comrades. The nukes must have left Belk in despair. Why are they still fighting? Our battle starts right now. We can still fight. Prepare yourselves. Why won't they stop attacking? How many of our planes are up there? All of them. We haven't lost yet. It's still not over. In fact, we're just getting started. Notice I with this war is. Now is not the time. This is Strong 2. Something's off. There's too many to be remnant forces. Haven't you killed enough? How many people do you have to kill to be satisfied? Why are they still fighting? Why don't they understand? It's about time someone crashed into the ground. Don't be intimidated. Drag him down with you if that's what it takes. Haven't they heard? We're in a ceasefire. Allied bastards. If we're defeated here, there's no tomorrow. Fox 2!
Finito.
The Belkan remnant forces have been completely eliminated. Well done, GOM team.
Oh, c'est pas trop difficile.
Today is a day of hope. A day in which tension between different countries will be greatly reduced.
This is no remnant resistance. This war's not over yet.
Well.
Thanks to your help, the operation was a success. The ceremony was also conducted without any trouble. The various governments will meet to decide upon what happens to Belka now, in accordance with the war end agreement.
Eh ben c'est nickel. F-117A. Heureusement qu'il y a une seule variante. Hein.
June 20th, 1995. A treaty declaring a cessation of hostilities was signed in Lumen, a city on the border of South Belka and Osea. It was a one-sided treaty that heavily favored Osea. The borders of the affected countries that fluxed greatly over the past years finally settled down at the cost of many human lives. The battlefield shifted to the tables, and the politicians from all countries squabbled with each other over the rights to the underground natural resources, the initial cause of this war. 6 months passed without any developments. 6 months of void. I focused on this time period for the hidden truth laid there. And I learned that my pursuit of him was not a mistake.
The top officers in the Belkan army have pulled a coup d'etat. Calling their organization a world with no boundaries, the forces bombed the city of Lumen, where the cessation of hostilities treaty was signed, using a giant gunship codenamed XBO. Your mission is to pursue the XBO and... Wait! We've just received an emergency transmission from the control tower. Unidentified aircraft are approaching our base. Scramble all planes. Quick, there's no time. Get into the air immediately.
Comme c'est étonnant. Je sais pas pourquoi, mais j'ai comme l'impression qu'on va se faire un petit peu emmerder, mais... Je dis ça, je dis rien. Je dirais surtout que c'est très gros. Ouais. C'est très très gros.
Warning, heavy ECMs. We're now on Cold Horn alert. Visual confirmation of craft approaching the base. Everyone head to your posts. This is Com 2. Control tower, situation report. Fire! Unidentified craft entering our airspace. Here they come. Take them out of the way. They're going for the runway. Direct hit on runway. We can't take off. It can even be the GOM team. Send them up. Emergency launch! Hurry! It should be in the storehouse. Bring it here. I equipped this plane myself. Bring it back in one piece. Ground zero. No signs of life.
Our base has suffered extensive damage. GOM team, we're counting on you. Warning, unknown craft on radar.
Ah bah ça c'est le château ça dans les
Initiate
combats.
operation.
We have to go into battle. Target XBO sighted.
Espada 1 to Espada 2. It's time to stop the Demon Lord.
This is Espada 2. Roger. Lead the way. It's the one who destroyed our base.
GOM 1, GOM 2, commence the attack on XBO. XBO must be destroyed. It's the only way to prevent a world with no boundaries. Espada team, shoot down those Bustio flies. That Demon Lord has got to be quite an eyesore. Wait, we're engaging friendly aircraft. These are Sapin fighters. Bustio 6th Air Division's a Sapin
Ah, la gouverne.
Com 1 is down.
I really don't feel like getting shot down today, man.
XBO will be out of combat airspace in 20 miles. Move it. Bandits in gun range. Warning, the enemy's locked onto you. Missile break.
The missile's coming at me.
What's happening with damage control? Check on the target. Radar lock.
Non, la gouverne encore.
Com 1 is crashed. I really don't feel like getting shot down today, man.
XBO will be out of combat airspace in 20 miles. Move it.
Warning, the enemy's tracking you on radar.
Break. Missile. No special weapons fire remaining. Switch hydraulic system to line B. Shut down line B.
What's happening with damage control? Warning, the enemy's tracking you on radar.
Missile. Break. Missile launched. Missile warning. All anti-air weapons on the upper half of XBO have been destroyed. Way to go.
Damn, he's closing in on everyone.
Get some attacks in around the XBO cockpit. That should mess up his steering. The XBO has been stripped of all defenses. Take her out, GOM team. Radar lock. Missile warning.
The XBO's taking a death blow. It was Cypher. Cypher did it.
Nice work, GOM team. Operation complete.
Our death is not the end of everything. The rest is up to you.
Facile. Logique.
There's a coded message on the radio. Decrypting message. Yo, buddy, you still alive? Yes.
Yo, buddy, you're still alive?
Thanks to you, the XBO has been shot down. However, our base was heavily damaged in the surprise attack. The squadron that you engaged consisted of Sappan and Osean fighters. We're currently investigating the situation. Once we determine the location of the renegade organization, we will launch a counterinsurgency operation.
Ah bah nickel. Le Rafale M et les couleurs, ainsi que la médaille Ragnarok. Médaille Ragnarok. Ah bah c'est cool ça, une médaille, une bonne médaille. Hop, on sauvegarde. Et retour sur le démon de la table ronde.
We have confirmed that the aircraft that attacked our base belonged to the major rebel organization, A World with No Boundaries. This highly organized renegade army is comprised of soldiers from numerous countries, including Osea, Sapin, and of course Belka. They are believed to possess a massive arsenal of weapons. The coup forces are gathered at Mund, in northern Belka, where they've confiscated the Avalon Dam facility from the Belkan army. What's worse, we've discovered that this facility houses an experimental V2 weapon. Unfortunately, it took us a long amount of time to uncover this information due to the facility's location beneath the dam's waters. Proceed immediately to Avalon and destroy the V2 weapon. Note that V7R blocks your route from Valais Air Base to Mund. You will most likely encounter fierce resistance from the coup forces of both V7R and Mund. Remember to be prepared for attacks from land, air, or elsewhere when choosing which aircraft to pilot. This mission will succeed upon the destruction of the V2 in the target area and your safe return to base. Now go destroy that weapon and come back in one piece. Anything else is unacceptable.
Ce à quoi je répondrai la suite au prochain épisode. Ok, d'accord, un petit peu de lecture, ça fait pas de mal. Bon, eh bien, c'est tout pour ce soir. Hop. Donc voilà. C'était. Il me semble que maintenant, il va y avoir plus que 2 missions. Donc B7R encore une fois. Et après B7R, il y aura Avalon Dame, donc le barrage. Et là, c'est à partir de là que les choses vont vraiment commencer à être un peu chaud, parce que en plus de se taper un missile V2 à dégommer, il y aura aussi un ADF 01 à démonter, équipé de laser, et forcément, qui ce sera? Ce sera notre cher ancien ailier, notre cher Pixie. Et ouais, et là ça va être showtime. Donc voilà, donc j'espère que ça vous aura plu. N'oubliez pas d'activer tout ce qui est notification pour savoir quand est-ce que je live. Toujours pas de planning, hein, je tiens à préciser. Hormis sauf si je suis au chômage, mais ça ne risque pas d'arriver. Enfin, je touche du bois. Bref, en tout cas ça m'a fait plaisir. Bonne soirée, bonne nuit à tous. À la prochaine. Ciao ciao.